The following program on PBS 39 is made possible in part by
Union City Chamber of Commerce presents the Union City Arts Festival October 10th, 11th, and 12th in Union City, Indiana. Experience culinary, visual, music, and performing arts. More at unioncityartsfestival.org.
Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. On today's show, we'll be covering a myriad of arts events in the region, including hearing from Christy Sandmaier from the Fort Wayne Ballet in the second half of the show. But first, Andrea Zwiebel from the Honeywell Center in Wabash is here to talk about their fall season, which is packed. It seems to be, Andrea. Welcome to Arts Weekly.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming back to visit with us about your season.
Sure.
Honeywell Center, an incredible facility.
Well, thanks.
How long have you been with the Honeywell Center?
Actually, I moved here for my job 7 years ago. I'm not a Hoosier.
You're not a Hoosier. Where did you come from?
I'm from Wisconsin, but I thought the Honeywell Center was spectacular and I needed to move to Wabash.
To promote, and what do you do for them? Are you in marketing, or do you also plan some of what they do?
I plan. My title's program manager, so I book all of the concerts that come into the Ford Theater, and I manage our art gallery and book the movies that come to our movie theaters.
That's a big task, doing all of that. And is your education in that area? Did you have arts management education?
I have a visual arts degree, which is how I got linked in with the art gallery to start off with, and from there learned through programming knowledge and took on booking.
Well, I'm curious, what's your medium in visual arts?
It depends. So much lately, nothing. But
you're too busy.
I get my fill through the gallery, but
right.
I do drawing and more crafts these days. So.
Yeah, well, great. Well, the Honeywell Center, tell our viewers a little bit about the Honeywell Center, because it is one of the premier performance spaces in Northeast Indiana. Yeah,
we have a 1,400-seat theater, which surprises people for a town of 11,000.
Right.
So it's a large complex. We have a restaurant on site, the art gallery, which I mentioned, banquet facilities, even a roller skating rink in the building.
In the building? Wow. And how long has it been a performing arts center?
We're coming up on our 75th anniversary in 2016.
Wow, so big plans for that.
Yeah,
yeah. I
plans are in the works already.
I'll bet they are. So tell us a little bit about your season. What's coming up in the fall?
Well, I thought I'd talk about the Wabash Valley Music Association. They're going into their 58th season, and they're basically the inspiration for the Ford Theater. So it's kicking off on September 26th with the Wabash Area Community Theater presenting Carousel.
Oh.
And so while it's a local production, it's really well done, and everyone loves that title.
So is the Music Association a not-for-profit organization, or would you say it's a volunteer-based committee? Is it like an arts council? Or?
It's actually under the foundation, the Honeywell Foundation umbrella.
It is,
and
okay.
We have several groups of volunteers that orchestrate the series.
Right, but I'm curious because it also has something to do with the community theater as well as promoting a season. Is that what you...
The community theater is a part of the series, but is a separate organization.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, wonderful, great.
Then
and so what's after that?
We have the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, and that'll be Rachmaninoff. So if you're a fan, come on to the symphony in Wabash.
Who's not a fan of Rachmaninoff? Come on, I mean, if anybody likes classical music, you have to like Rachmaninoff.
Well, then we roll into a few Broadway shows, and these are national touring Broadway shows, so different from the community theater. The first is Nice Work If You Can Get It. So if you're a Gershwin fan, you would love Nice Work.
Right.
Then we roll into Million Dollar Quartet, and that actually was in Fort Wayne, I believe, last year or the year before, and I've previewed it as a great show about the four greats. It's Elvis, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins, and they had a historic jam session, and it's retelling that night, in inspiration on a true story.
Is it, would you say it's a musical review, or is there dialogue? I mean, but is there dialogue, or is it just kind of song to song to song?
It's basically taking all place in the recording studio there, so it's their dialogue while they're thinking of these songs and then playing all of
And
the
so we get to hear
hits.
all the songs that we recognize from these four great stars.
You'll
What a
love it.
great night.
And then similarly toned, Buddy, the Buddy Holly story will be coming, and so that's, even though there was just a short year and a half of hits for Buddy Holly, there are over 20 greatest hits that will be performed.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. Now that show, if I'm not mistaken, has had quite a run around the country, hasn't it? It's been pretty
it's
popular.
a national tour.
It's a national tour. Yeah. And so if you're the booking agent, it's got to be a little bit more intense to book this crowd than it is perhaps the symphony or the local civic theater, et cetera. Do you have to deal with the contracts and whatnot with the performance of the Broadway tours?
I handle that side as well, and I work with our volunteer committee that selects these performers.
Oh, so there's a committee that decides who we're going to go after. Okay, great. How far out in advance do you do that?
We'll start looking this fall for the 15-16 season.
You will. Okay, great. And what else is on the roster?
Then we're rounding out with some headliners. We have Sha Na Na, and it's going to be their 40th anniversary, and they're performing hit songs from Greece.
Great.
And so that'll be a popular one as well.
Great.
And then we'll close the series in May with the Celtic Tenors, and they'll be singing things that you recognize, Danny Boy, for example. So
yeah, I should hope so. They better be singing Danny Boy, right? It's the Celtic Tenors. They have to be singing Danny Boy. Yeah.
And so you can buy those shows individually, or you can buy all 7 shows as a series.
Oh,
and there's several price points, and all of the tickets are available on our website at honeywellcenter.org.
Great. And so all of this is picked by the Music Association then?
Yes.
That's part of that whole season. But now you say that you have a gallery as well, so there's lots of things that happen. What else happens at the Honeywell besides the music series?
Well, if we talk about the holidays in particular, there's a lot of opportunities for you to come to Wabash and experience something different. We have brunch with Santa, and generally we have brunch every Sunday, but that will be special that Santa will be in attendance, so if you have families that want to come to that. We host holiday parties all year round, and particularly in the Christmas window frequently. And we'll have some holiday movies at Eagles Theater. Those will be throwback classic styles. Those will be announced shortly.
Great.
And then during the holiday window in the Clark Gallery, we'll have the Cash and Carry holiday exhibit, which is your chance to buy artwork on the spot. Oftentimes you have to see it, like it, buy it, and then wait a month to take it home.
Right,
and so this will be, you can see it, like it, buy it that day.
And who are these artists? I mean, are they local artists, or are they?
They will be local and regional artists, yes.
And is it juried in any way, or do you seek them out through?
That show isn't juried, but we do have juried competitions throughout the year. We have a photography show coming up this fall.
How big is the gallery space?
It's 200 linear feet, so it's actually quite large.
Yeah.
It's the entire outside curve of our Ford Theater, so it's the main lobby, great foot traffic, same foot traffic of the Honeywell Center, 180,000 visitors a year.
Wow, that's terrific. And how many shows do you do, art shows do you do a year? Does it kind of change every time you have a new thing come in, or you?
About monthly.
Oh,
Since
does
we have so many visitors coming through the building, we want to keep it fresh and have something new to look at every time you come.
Great. And you've got sort of a Cirque show coming at Christmas time as well, is that right?
I've seen this show before. It's wonderful. It's called Cirque Dreams Holidays, and you'll see toy soldiers on high wires and snowmen dancing and gingerbread men and all of your favorite holiday things, but doing Cirque style performances. So
what kind of technical venue do you have to have for them to be able to do that? Do they rely on you to have that stuff? Do they bring it? Or, I mean, of course they bring their own high wire, but you've got to have a pretty strong technical crew to be able to load that in.
We do have a great technical crew, and we do Broadway shows throughout the year, and not all venues are large enough to do that, so we're fortunate to have a large stage and the capacity to bring in multi-truck shows.
Right, so you have a large proscenium stage with fly space and enough that kind of Broadway show. A lot of those Broadway shows now carry in hydraulic systems where everything else, sort of a floor they bring in, and it's all hydraulically moved, so they don't need a size crew that they normally are they used to. I think that we have a video of the Cirque show for our viewers to take a look at what that's like. So if we can, let's take a look at that video.
Broadway's Cirque Dreams dazzles the country with its latest holiday spectacular. Over 300 costumes and 20 acts make Cirque Dreams Holidays a perfect family treat, says the New York Daily News. It's talent by the sleigh load.
Wow. That looks pretty exciting.
Did you see those toy soldiers on the high wire?
I did see the toy soldiers on the high wire. That was terrific. Have you had them before?
They have been here once before.
Yeah.
It's been several years, though, and it's a favorite, so we wanted to bring them back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What else is happening at the Honeywell Center that people want to come out for?
Yeah, we have Roger Hodgson of Supertramp, legendary former singer-songwriter of Supertramp. And so he'll be singing all of the hits of Supertramp. I don't know if you know those off the top of your head, but there's Give a Little Bit, The Logical Song, Dreamer, Take the Long Way Home.
Wow. I actually didn't know that he wrote all of those songs. So great, great. When is he going to be here?
That'll be November 4th.
Okay, terrific.
And then also in the holiday window, we'll be doing a children's family show, Max and Ruby, in the Nutcracker Suite. So, of course, everyone loves the Nutcracker.
They do.
And there'll be larger-than-life plush characters of Max and Ruby.
Is that a show that you bring in, or is that locally produced?
No, it's brought in.
It is brought in, another tour show.
Yes,
Great.
national tour.
Great.
And then we'll have Michael McDonald in December as well, doing a Christmas show. And Kenny Rogers doing holiday and hits, because everyone wants to hear The Gambler.
That's
so
true, they do.
We need to have...
True. I would imagine Kenny Rogers is pretty popular in this part of the country.
And he's been to the Honeywell Center before and always sells out, so we need to bring him back.
Right, exactly. What are his dates so people can get tickets on that?
That will be December 13th.
Oh, right at Christmas time. So you're kind of busy from like November right to January.
And this is just a small sampling. Everything's available on our website at honeywellcenter.org. There's a wide variety of things for company parties or just if you want to bring your family and have a nice holiday
Andrea, you book all of
relaxation.
this. That is an incredible job you do.
Well, thanks.
Congratulations.
We do about 50 shows a year.
50 shows a year. Is it 12 months a year?
Yes.
Oh, it is. You don't take summers off. You just go right through. Wow.
Year round.
All right, let's give our viewers again one more time the contact information for any of this stuff would be honeywellcenter.org.
Yes. And our box office at 260-563-1102.
Or there's an 800 number.
There is an 800 number as well.
1-800-626-6345. Well, Andrea, thank you for joining me. It's been great to talk with you again on Arts Weekly, and I look forward to the exciting season. I don't know which one I have to see, but I have to see them all.
Well, I'll see you in Wabash soon.
Will you see me in Wabash soon, right? Thank you, Andrea, for joining me.
Thanks.
Please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area, and I'll be right back with Christy Sandmaier of the Fort Wayne Ballet. Welcome back. Joining me now in the second half of our show is Christy Sandmaier from the Fort Wayne Ballet, who's here to talk about their upcoming production of At the Edge. Christy, welcome to Arts Weekly, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting Fort Wayne Ballet to be here.
I'm always thrilled to have the ballet on, especially at the beginning of the season. You've got a whole season planned, and we'll have time to talk about some of that. But first I want to talk a little bit about you and your affiliation with the ballet. How long have you been with the ballet?
I'm in my second season now with the ballet.
And what do you do for them?
I'm Director of Administration for the Fort Wayne Ballet, and relatively new position for us. And I'm sort of behind the scenes, managing everything behind the scenes, from production to marketing to fundraising, and have this great partner in our executive and artistic director, Karen Gibbons-Brown. And so work side by side with her, and she's an amazing mentor and leader for the organization. So,
well, I guess we could talk a little bit before we get to this season about sort of the astronomical growth that's happened for the ballet in about the last 3 years. And we have to give Karen a lot of credit for that. We really do.
Absolutely.
You've got a partnership with St. Francis, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
In the education world.
We have a dance major now with St. Francis.
Exactly. You've got a dance major with St. Francis. You've moved to this beautiful space.
Yes.
The Our Performance area.
Yes, on the Arts Campus downtown.
On the Arts Campus downtown. So tell us a few other things, because it's really been wonderful for 2 years, I think, now.
We have really so much exciting going on, and first being the growth of our professional company. I think a lot of people don't know that we have professional dancers right here in Fort Wayne.
I don't think they do.
And that we're the only professional ballet in the state of Indiana. So
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's really an exciting thing for us, and not a lot of people know that. So we're working really hard right now to get that message out to this community and beyond, really regionally. So that's something we're very, very excited about. But growing our company has really been a goal. We had 6 professionals last year. We have 8 this year, in addition to 4 apprentice dancers and 5 trainees. So we prepared ourselves for the future as well.
Right. When you say you have 8 professional dancers, does that mean that do you bring them in for 9 months, 6 months, 6 weeks? How long? Do they just come per show? I don't think so.
They are contracted throughout the year for the majority. 36 weeks, and then some stay on in the summer as well to teach for our summer intensive or do performances then. But this is their full-time job. When we say professional, this is their full-time job.
Exactly.
They live, play, and work in Fort Wayne, and so they're in our studios 8-9 hours a day.
I had the good
dancing.
fortune to work with some of them last year in your production of Romeo and Juliet.
We loved having you for that.
We did some combat and some fighting with dancers and swords. It was great fun. But it was really exciting to be with some professional dancers. And
absolutely.
The level of talent and the level of ability is really high. So.
It's really amazing, Eddie, and all the credit in the world to Karen. She's in her 16th season and really wanted to be here today. She's traveling and working on an accreditation piece for the school. So really another exciting project.
Yes, I've been through that accreditation piece, so God bless her. It's not easy. Well, I'm happy to have you here to talk about the ballet. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up right at the beginning. You've got something called At the Edge.
At the Edge is our opening weekend performance, and we are doing some really groundbreaking performances. 2 pieces in particular that we have been working on are with the Lamone Trust and the Arpino Trust. And what that means...
I don't know what that means.
Right.
I saw that in the notes.
For the non-dancer.
Yes, the non-dancer. What does that mean?
20th century choreographers. You don't have to go to New York or Chicago or LA or San Francisco to see the works of these choreographers. We're doing them here right on stage in Fort Wayne, and we are blessed to have 2 of the women who are staging those performances with us in residence for a little while. So they've been here working with our dancers.
Wonderful.
For 3 weeks. And
well, let's back up a second.
Sure.
What that means then, what you're saying is that these women are choreographing dances that were done elsewhere by someone else exactly as they were done, only with our dancers.
Exactly as they were done.
Exactly. Been recorded, and they're in trust, if you will, to us or to the Fort Wayne Ballet to be recreated exactly.
Exactly. And these are, we have been working, really Karen would say her whole tenure to be able to do both of these on one performance, and that just happens to be our opening night. So it's At the Edge, it's groundbreaking. It's At the Edge because it's historic for us.
To be doing 2 in one night and to bring these guest choreographers in for an opening night. Fantastic, great. What would you say the style of this opening night will be?
It's really celebratory for us. The Lamone piece in particular, Mazurkas. Jose Lamone really constructed that piece in celebration in honor of the Polish people. He had done a tour there and the 1958 premiere of this piece really in homage to them or in honor of them. He was impressed by their spirit and their bravery following World War II. So that's where the piece really originated, and it's very lyrical, very emotional, it's very thought-provoking, and so the audience will kind of go on this journey during this piece, but very celebratory at the end. And the same with the other piece, which is called Confetti, so obviously celebration right there in the title, right there in the name.
Yeah.
And so it's just really a celebration the whole evening.
And how many dancers are you going to be using in both pieces?
In the Lamone piece, I believe we're using 8, and then in the Arpino piece, which is Confetti, it's for 3 couples, so 6 dancers.
Wow. And these are premieres then for Fort Wayne?
These are premieres for Fort Wayne,
Northeast Indiana.
And Northeast Indiana, and like I said, you know, people might expect to see these in Chicago or New York or LA, but we're doing them right here in Fort Wayne.
Great. How many times will you be doing them?
We will be doing them twice. We have a Friday evening performance at 7:30, and then we'll have a matinee on the Sunday as well. So it's really a once-in-a-lifetime chance in a way to do these, and we don't know when we'll be able to do them again.
Right. And where do you perform them?
We perform that at the Hour Center, which is right part of the Arts Campus, right across the street from our brand new studios. So we'll be in that theater, and a great,
It's
again,
a beautiful
great space in
proscenium
Fort
stage,
Wayne.
yeah. And I think you guys put a floor in, do you not? Put in a dance floor?
We bring in our own floor. It's called the Marley floor,
It is, yeah.
which is something that adds a little spring for the dancers and protects them. At the same time, we don't want them dancing on point, on concrete.
Right, because some theater probably just painted this floor a week before.
Exactly, you know.
You've got to put a safety floor down
Right,
for
so we
them.
see in the theater world, the floor is painted, the next group comes in, the next
Exactly.
goes out.
Drills
everyone
holes
repaints,
into it,
Drills
yes.
holes, you know, who
We
knows
can't
what.
have the
So we lay a
dancers on
special
that.
floor, so our dancers are used to that.
Yeah.
And Confetti in particular is so difficult on point. It's one of the most difficult pieces that I've ever seen, and so that floor becomes very, very important, of course, in that piece.
Wonderful. Are both of them fully on point pieces?
For the most part, they are, and from what I've seen, you know, I didn't grow up as a dancer, so this is all still, you know, it's always education to me.
Right, yeah.
Every single day. Been part of the arts community, but not a part, you know, not a dancer. So I would say the mazurkas is a little more lyrical, but definitely they're going back on point, and
Back
you know,
and forth.
it's a really interesting combination, these two pieces, and they play off each other. They're very similar, but they're very different as well.
Now, do you have anything going on that's special for the evening, the opening night, or do you have receptions around the event?
We are doing a reception. We'll do a cocktail hour at 6 p.m.
Oh, you will? Okay.
And again, that is open to the public, and we've got some surprises in place for the evening. It's maybe not necessarily going to be what everybody expects. And starting with that reception and then leading into the performance. And we also have a piece by our own David Ingram, which will also be part of that performance.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 performances
there
that
are
night.
3.
And tell me about David's piece. He's
David's-
always so, talk about at the edge.
At the edge,
That
you've
would be
got
David's
it. That's
choreography.
perfect.
Yeah.
David is at the edge,
Yes.
and I can tell you that I saw a cast list, but I am not familiar with the name of the piece. I'm not sure he's named it yet. By performance night, by Friday night, he'll have
something.
He'll have something named, but I've
Yes.
seen bits and pieces of it. So it's a David Ingram original, and we always love to put that on the program.
Having worked with David, I'm sure
Yes.
every night he's going scribbling a new name on it.
Absolutely,
You know, it's
and
like
he'll bring me a little piece of paper and what
exactly.
about this and a drawing with how he wants to do it.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
how the magic is created. But
It
again,
is.
at the edge, that's David and that's this night, and so we're so excited.
He's hugely creative.
Yes.
And what is his position at the ballet?
He is our artistic associate, so
Okay.
he is really on the artistic side, you know, really second in command behind, you know, Karen, but they work very much side by side, and he's still teaching and hopefully still dancing, but really doing this choreography, and spent a summer doing, you know, grad school work. So again, we're always striving to do more and more and be better. That's what we're about.
Well, it was a great pleasure to work with him in Romeo and
Yes.
Juliet last year,
Yes.
because he was hugely creative in that process.
Always.
Well, we have a couple of minutes left. What's the rest of the season at the Fort Wayne Ballet look like?
Well, we have a new series this year. We are doing a brand new series in the Arts Lab, which is a part of the Arts Campus as well. We call it the Black Box internally, but the official name is Arts Lab.
Newly, the Parkview Arts Lab. Is
Exactly.
that correct?
Yes,
the
that is
Parkview
correct.
Arts
They
Lab.
dedicated
Let's
that a
certainly
couple
give
of
them
weeks
the credit.
ago.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're doing 3 performances in there, and so that's brand new for us, and that gives everybody a very up close and personal look.
Yeah,
You're right there with the dancers as close as you and I.
Exactly. For
So-
anyone who hasn't been to the Arts Lab, they have to go see a play or a
Yes.
concert, or
Yes.
especially a dance, because I did go to your piece that you did
Yes.
last spring in the Arts Lab. And it's amazing to have ballet
Right.
dancers be
Yes.
right in front of me, leaping, jumping, because usually they're on a proscenium, and,
Right.
and there's a certain distance there. But
Yes, you see everything right
everything,
there in front
the
of
sweat,
you.
the breathing.
Exactly,
Yes,
and you know, we
the
had a lot of
angst.
people come in say, I never knew it was that difficult, or I never knew how hard they were working, and so it gives us an avenue, and you know, it's an experimental theater, and
Right.
so we get to try new things in there as well.
And it's a challenge for the dancers, because
It
they're not
is.
really asked to dance that close to an audience on a regular
Exactly.
basis.
So that's all part of their teaching process, and part of their learning is being able to learn to be up close and personal
Yeah.
with their audience. So you know, that's an exciting piece of our season that's new. Of course, in December we're doing Nutcracker, 9 performances of Nutcracker.
Which I got to tell everybody now, get your tickets.
Yes.
It's always a sellout, and it's always fantastic.
Yes.
And what I marvel at is that you don't just repeat it. You change it up every year.
We change it up every year.
Every year you change it up.
And, you know, subtle changes, but also major changes. And one thing that we did last year was an entire rebuild of Act 2. New sets, new drops, new
And they were
staircase in
beautiful,
Act 1.
right?
And this year you will see a complete rebuild of Act 1. So the party scene and the snow scene, so those are two new elements, along with the dancers, of course, and we always improving and always adding things to the dance, but you'll see different sets as well.
And again, several of those performances on the first weekend are accompanied by the Philharmonic.
They
Will
are
that
accompanied
happen
live
again?
by the Fort Wayne Philharmonic, 3 of those performances on our opening weekend. And then we'll have the Phil again in the spring in March when we do Don Quixote. So that will be our collaboration with the Philharmonic this year.
For the spring.
So that's for spring. And so just a really exciting season that we've got lined up.
Some cutting edge stuff at the beginning and then great titles that we recognize for the Christmas in the end.
Some tradition in there as well.
All right, what is the contact information for our viewers once again for the Fort Wayne Ballet for opening night at the Edge, September 26th and 28th?
Yes, for tickets, 422-4226, and our website, fortwayneballet.org.
Well, Christy, thank you for joining me on Arts Weekly. I can't
me.
wait for opening night and that reception. And
fantastic.
you've made me curious about what the other events
There'll
are.
be a few surprises.
I know. I'm really excited about those few
Yes.
surprises. So don't give them away, right?
Yes.
Again, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. On the next Arts Weekly, Andrew Constantine will drop by to discuss the Fort Wayne Philharmonic's opening night performance of Mahler's Titan Symphony. Then Lori Schatz will tell us all about the Warsaw Performing Arts Center's upcoming Bluegrass Gathering. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to join us here Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thanks for watching Arts Weekly.
Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
Union City Chamber of Commerce presents the Union City Arts Festival October 10th, 11th, and 12th in Union City, Indiana. Experience culinary, visual, music, and performing arts. More at unioncityartsfestival.org.